Good evening. It is my honor to welcome the Honorable Matthew Meyer, County Executive, Chief Administrative Officer Vanessa Phillips, members of the County Executive staff, Newcastle County Council members, our state legislators, members of the Joint Finance Committee, leadership from our police, fire, EMS, and communications, along with our civilian honorees, survivors, and their families. At this time, I would like to call Acting Chief Logeman to the podium for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Captain. I'm going to keep my remarks kind of brief this evening. We have quite a full program. But first and foremost, I want to welcome you to the 8th Annual Sudden Cardiac Arrest Survivors Reunion. This unique event allows the survivors of sudden cardiac arrest and the first responders who came to their aid to meet face to face. It's not very common in our line of work to have such an opportunity. As we're faced with an increased need for our services, we go from incident to incident, often not knowing the outcome of those we care for. Newcastle County Emergency Medical Services has made it our mission to not only improve our treatment and care of victims of sudden cardiac arrest, but to help educate our fellow first responders in the newest and best practices in care. Through these efforts, we continue to see statistical improvement in our rates of survival in cardiac arrest patients. I applaud all first responders in this room for their continued efforts in providing the most aggressive and modern care for those in need. A sudden cardiac arrest survivor from a previous year made a very powerful statement about the impact the efforts of the first responders on her life. She related that not only did they save her life, but they saved the lives of her family, her friends, and her loved ones. Your unwavering desire to make a difference in our communities has far-reaching effects. I think if we take a moment and look around the room, we see the immense number of first responders towards the back. We see a wonderful group of survivors and their friends and family up front. Very often this occupation of being a first responder is referred to as a thankless job. This evening, it's our pleasure to recognize you for your efforts and say thank you for what you do on a daily basis to make our communities healthier and safer. Thank you again for coming this evening, and please enjoy the program.
At this time, I'd like to call the Honorable County Executive Matthew Meyer.
Good evening. Good evening. It's really an honor to be here tonight with so many first responders, paramedics, of course, firefighters, EMTs, police officers, bystanders, and individuals whose lives were saved by so many who are here tonight. I teach a class at Free Air Charter School. We teach a high school class, civics class, on government, local government. And we often ask the students, what do you know about government? What does government do? What does government do for people? And you can imagine we hear a variety of answers, some good and some maybe not so good, about how we pave the streets, or sometimes we don't pave the streets, about how we educate children or attempt to, about how we assist in providing health care for those most in need and create jobs and create an environment where jobs can be created. Tonight, we celebrate really what is the most extraordinary government service of all, and that is a service where we literally save lives. Just 20, 30 years ago, we couldn't have a ceremony like this, because if you went into cardiac arrest, you would not survive. But because of the tremendous efforts, primarily of our paramedics, but of so many others who are here tonight, the collaboration with EMTs and the fire service, with police officers, with emergency communicators, It's really a chain of survival that has taken decades of research, of strategy, of public investment with your tax dollars and with execution. So we cannot thank you enough, not only for the work that you have done to come here tonight, but the work that's being done every day to make the system a little bit better so that there are a few more incidents each year for us to celebrate. Let me just close with this. A little over a year ago, we announced something called the Pulse Point app. The Pulse Point app. It's an app on your mobile phone. For those that know CPR, if you're within the vicinity of someone who goes into cardiac arrest, your phone will go off. I know there are a lot of people in this room who already have it downloaded to their phone and use it every day. I want you to think of someone who does not have that app. Maybe someone who knows CPR or someone who doesn't know CPR, who we need to make sure learns CPR. Let's all resolve by the time we're back here next year to have at least one more person, one more friend, download this Pulse Point app. Within several days of us announcing the app a year and a half ago, there was an incident that we celebrated last year on Naaman's Road in the supermarket there right next to the Shakey's Pizza I used to go to. Someone's life was saved because of this app. Someone's app went off. So thank you so much for what you've done for us to be here tonight to celebrate the tremendous work. And let's keep in mind the tremendous efforts that still are in front of us. Those efforts take public investment, and in addition to so many within county government, there's no greater supporter we have than State Representative and former retired Brigadier General Earl Jakes. He is here tonight with his wife Carol, and I want to make sure he is recognized. Representative Jakes. Thank you for your support, Representative Jakes, and thank you everyone here for the work you do every single day.
At this time, I'd like to call Dr. Robert Rosenbaum.
Good evening. I'm going to have to do it too. Good evening. I apologize in advance for my voice, which is cracking, but I wouldn't miss the opportunity to speak to this group. And I'm going to echo some of the things that have been spoken, but I'm going to give you some meat on the bone. I'm going to give you some of the statistics and some of the numbers that your hard work has generated and how you've created so many more survivors, some of whom are seated here with us tonight. I think it's important that we understand that every level of care in the chain of survival has done something this year to make improvements in our overall rate of survival. We have more bystanders doing CPR than ever before. Our dispatchers have worked tirelessly to improve their recognition of cardiac arrest. Sounds easy, but it's not. Many phone calls are difficult to identify. Our dispatchers now identify 90% of patients in need of CPR. They also identify those needs in less than 40 seconds from the time of the first ring into dispatch. Both of those numbers are exemplary. They are superior statistically to what almost any high-performing center will do. Our first responders are showing up on scene, our police, our fire, our non-EMS personnel, to do CPR. 10 years ago, that was very uncommon. 5 years ago, it became more common. And now it is commonplace, as by the number of law enforcement personnel I see in the audience. We have a tremendous response from our BLS community. You were asked to make a major change in the spring of this past year in how you applied mechanical CPR. That change was met with some skepticism and some questions. And I applaud you for asking those questions and then for taking the choice to move in a different direction and applying your hands-on CPR, which was, in fact, superior to mechanical CPR. To give you a sense of what that meant, in the quarter before we made this change, our resuscitation rate was approximately 25%. After that, we went to 45%. In the quarter after that, we went to 58%. And in the last quarter of 2019, if you were a cardiac arrest with a shockable rhythm, you were resuscitated 83% of the time. That is amazing. The next step in that chain of survival is our paramedic care. One thing we look for is that all those patients who arrive and who are resuscitated in the field, we want them to go home. We want them to go home and be able to live their lives, to be able to have a normal life. Some of that happens when we resuscitate our patients and make sure their blood flow, their blood pressure is kept at a high enough level that there are no brain injuries. In the past year, we've been much more aggressive with a medication called norepinephrine, and we've seen results that lead us to believe that that's been a major factor. Our patients who are resuscitated now leave the hospital with intact neurologic function, and in fourth quarter of 2019, that number was 84%. Incredible numbers, incredible increases. We continue to see improvements across the board in how we respond. We continue to see those improvements because of your efforts to improve the system of care. The system is only as good as the people who work in it. I applaud you for your efforts. You have set a standard of care in Newcastle County that is unrivaled. Thank you for everything you have done.
Our program this evening will go as follows. The members of the individual agencies will be called to the stage to be recognized as a group. For our survivors in attendance, those involved in their care will also be called to the stage to be recognized. Tonight, we gather to commemorate the achievements of our paramedics, emergency medical technicians, firefighters, police officers, and civilians. We say thank you to you for your service to others. Our survivors are here with us to say thank you for being an important part of their story. At this time, would the following paramedics please come to the stage? Senior Lieutenant Dudley, Lieutenants Christopher Johnson, Michael Nichols, Kelly Leach. Senior Sergeant Beth Bratton Heck, Senior Sergeant Don Kennard, Senior Sergeant Peter Small, Sergeant Abigail Haas, Matthew Watson, Rich Mormon, Autumn Tuxworth, Senior Corporal Kuntz, Senior Corporals David Lawrence, David McKinney, Matthew Mitchell, Sherry Portello, Jeffrey Russell, Christopher Shad, Ken Sliney, Jorge Vasquez, William Wagner, Catherine Watts, Lorraine Williams, Corporals Elena Karakis, Dana Bowerson, Brian Bradford, Jessica Duncan, Scott Keir, Craig Lindell, Leah Reed, Michael Petrocenia, Ashley Steele, Keely Warwick, Christopher Boyles. Paramedics, First Class, Matthew DeLuca, William Doan, Michael Ferrero, Brian Florian, Jamelia Johnson, Dawn Longfellow, Jessica Mahon, Emily Mallon, Richard Orkis, Michael O'Shaughnessy, Jack Warwick. Paramedic Greg May, Jessica Baker, Alexandra Bastain, Mark Ciance, Gavin Dobbins, Ernest Garcia, Matthew Herman, Christine Huvenen, China Madison, Susie Maxwell, Michael McNeil, Sarah Pedrick, Mark Plumley, Richard Ross, Mary Kate Sellner, Travis Tomei, Christopher Turnbull, Ashley Tylinda, Ryan Shea, Nicole Capello, Recruit Mariana Madrid, Recruit Jamie Lee Jaquette. You worked hard, and as a result of your efforts, tonight we celebrate the survival of 44 members of our community. Congratulations on this recognition and of your merits of success. Thank you. Hi, Lord. At this time, I would like to call Sergeant Richard Moorman, Senior Corporal Jeffrey Russell, Telecommunicator David McDonough, Firefighter EMTs Adam Ryan, Mark Fasciola, Nicholas Salvamini, Nick Neal, Lillian Sweetman, Adam Goldman, Michael Maxwell, and Keith Spicer from the Christiana Fire Company. And I believe Mr. Quashne is here. Mr. Quashne, would you and Kathy please come to the stage, sir? On the evening of April 17, 2019, Donald and his wife Kathy were home together. Donald went to use the bathroom, and moments later, the family dog came tugging at Kathy to get her attention. She went to the bathroom, finding Donald unresponsive, and immediately activated 911. PSO McDonough, recognizing the patient had no pulse and was not breathing, began giving Kathy instructions. Arriving only minutes later, Officer Cole assumed chest compressions from his wife Kathy. Firefighters and emergency medical technicians from Christiana Fire Company, along with the paramedics, arrived to assist with resuscitation efforts. After an infusion of cardiac medications and multiple shocks, Donald had a heartbeat and a blood pressure. He was further stabilized and transported to Christiana Hospital. As a result of the teamwork from the start of the call to the 911 to all the responders' tireless efforts, Donald, his wife Kathy, and family Beagle are celebrating another year. They are here with us to celebrate his second chance of life. Congratulations to all of you for an excellent job well done. Thank you. Aetna Hose Hook and Ladder Company, Chief Andrew Bowerson, Deputy Chief Jeffrey Sands, Assistant Chief Brian Berkeley, Captain Brandon Stumbaugh, Lieutenants Ryan Contino, Ralph Tucker, Aubrey Evelyn, Mackenzie Sherman, EMTs Chris King, Timothy Long, Clarissa Nowak, Juliana Ritter, Barbara Taylor, John Witzke, Matthew Walder, Krista Carlozzi. Firefighters Derek Brode, David Carey, Mark Doyle. Firefighter EMTs Benjamin Adams, Connor Davis, Elizabeth DeBrune, Jonathan Huntley, Martin Krasavich, Walter Meredith, Michael McLean, Greg Palabi, and Sabrina Weiner. Aetna Hose Hook and Ladder Company is being recognized for 9 cardiac arrest survivor cases. Your personal performance is a true reflection of your success. Well done and congratulations. Brandywine Hunter Fire Company, firefighter EMTs Brandon Blackburn, Brian Ferguson, Stephen Ray, firefighter CJ Budd, Matthew Finelli, John Gage, Doug Horseman, Nicholas Tuzzi. Brandywine Hunter members are being recognized for a single case, however, nonetheless, so very important. For the life they saved, we surely cherish. Congratulations. Survivor Daisy Stanley, her husband Chris. Newcastle County EMS Senior Corporal Jeffrey Russell, Paramedic Christopher Turnbull, Public Safety Operator Lance Bernardo, Middletown Police Officer Corporal Michael Hillard, Volunteer Hose, Assistant Chief Michael Schustridge, Firefighters Norman Wallace, Francis Marker, EMT John Pace, EMT Mike Ehart. January 31st, 2019 was a cold but sunny day in Middletown where Daisy, Chris, and their young son were beginning their day as a family. Unfortunately, Daisy was not feeling herself this morning and experienced a fainting episode. Chris immediately called 911 as his wife remained unconscious. With the assistance of the public safety operator Bernardo, it was determined Daisy was experiencing slow, irregular breathing and had no pulse. Together, they went to work on rendering aid to Daisy. PSO Bernardo assisting Chris with CPR instructions. Arriving 3 minutes later, Officer Hillard applies the automatic external defibrillator and administers 1 shock to Daisy. Chest compressions are resumed, and shortly after, firefighters and EMTs from Volunteer Hose arrive, followed by the Newcastle County Paramedics. Working in tandem, chest compressions with artificial breathing are continued for Daisy. Paramedics begin to administer critical advanced life support measures to include 4 more shocks and cardiac medications. Approximately 20 minutes after the initial 911 call, Daisy's heart begins to beat. Unable to breathe slowly on her own, paramedics insert a breathing tube and continue to administer life-saving medications. As a result of the teamwork from the start of the call to 911 to all the responders' tireless efforts, Daisy and her family are here with us to celebrate a second chance at life with her family. Congratulations on a job well done. Christiana Fire Company, Captains Joseph Shanahan, Cody Lockwood, Shane Truitt, Lieutenant Raymond Lyons, EMTs, Ashley Bard, David Chillis, Molly Daisy, Hannah Griffiths, Devin Nichols, Albert Schrack, Patricia Schrack, Katie Wallace, Donald Moore, William Detterline, Laura Klein, Lillian Sweetman, Catherine Willer, Reed Wilson, Corinne Freeth, Brandy Miller, Daniel Hill. Firefighter EMTs, Mark Fasciola, Kevin Galing, James Haslam, Kevin Capista, Matthew Mancini, Austin Moorhead, Nicholas Neal, Kyle Petticone, Michael Pressler, Adam Ryan, Nicholas Salvemi, Daniel Sutton, Anthony Lapone. Firefighters Adam Goldman, Michael Maxwell, Christopher Montgomery, Thomas Morgan, Kelsey Foote, Jason Kennedy, Keith Spicer, Michael Vall, Chris O'Neill, Crystal Mockler, Bray Mariner. Tonight we celebrate 15 out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survivors by members of this department. Your outstanding achievement is admirable. Congratulations on a job well done. Survivor Susan Davis, Newcastle County EMS Sergeant Richard Moorman, PFC Dawn Longfellow, from Aetna Hose, Hook and Ladder, EMT Matthew Walder and Janie Grossman. It was just an ordinary Monday evening on December 10, 2019, when Sue began experiencing trouble breathing. 911 was called and the wheels of assistance were rolling her way. The basic life support unit from Aetna Hose, Hook and Ladder, along with paramedic unit Medic 6, are dispatched and responding. The basic life support unit arrived to find Sue without a pulse and not breathing. Chest compressions and artificial breathing for Sue are started. After several minutes of performing chest compressions and the paramedics inserting an IV line, Sue regains pulses and a blood pressure. Paramedics administer stabilizing medications and Sue was transported to Christiana Hospital. She underwent bypass surgery following her sudden cardiac arrest. The swift action of the emergency medical technicians, firefighters, and paramedics identifying her cardiac arrest, combined with the continued advanced life support measures by the paramedics, she survived to celebrate with us tonight. Keep up the good work. Congratulations on a job well done for giving Sue a second chance. Cranston Heights, EMS Captain Brian Bergrun, EMS Lieutenant Diana Stewart, Lieutenant Paul Testa, EMTs Philip Kress, Sarah Hayes, Charles O'Neill, Firefighter EMTs Nathan Carrier, Paolo Javillo, Anthony Lapone, Jack McPartland, Edward Yang, Ryan Hubschmidt, and Jacob Thomas. Congratulations on your successful resuscitation of 3 members of our community. Your dedication and hard work paid off. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Delaware City, Firefighter EMT Brian Ferguson, Firefighter EMT Gary Jess. Sir, you are proof that good things come to those willing to sacrifice for others. Congratulations on your achievement.
All right, gotta get my exercise.
Delaware State Police Aviation, Sergeant Jason Backley, Master Corporal Theodore Stippa, Master Corporal Carol Parton, and Master Corporal Elvin Thompson. We will often work with the State Police Aviation Unit, but not oftentimes on a cardiac arrest. Their efforts paid off in 2 survival cases, a success well-deserved, and an occasion certainly worth celebrating. Thank you and congratulations. Ellesmere Fire Company, driver James Farley, EMT John Curry, and EMT Pete Hallett. Congratulations on your 2 successful out-of-hospital cardiac arrest resuscitations. All of you worked very hard for this achievement, and you deserve it. Outstanding job. Thank you. Hocassin Fire Company, firefighter EMT Anthony Delaquila and firefighter Michael Edwards. The destiny of hard work is always success. They have worked hard and have succeeded with a successful resuscitation, and we congratulate them on a job well done. Survivor Curtis Crowther, his wife Julie Crowther, and their son Ronald Gitman Jr. Newcastle County EMS Senior Sergeant Peter Small, Senior Corporal Jorge Vasquez, PFC Jessica Mahon, Volunteer Hose EMT Joshua Ferguson, EMT Larry Thompson, Firefighter EMT Joshua Evans, and Firefighter EMT Stephen Galen. In the early hour of November 10, 2019, Julie heard a noise coming from her bedroom. When she walked into the bedroom, she found Curtis on the floor next to the bed. 911 is called and emergency responders are alerted. Suspicious Curtis was experiencing a diabetic emergency. She immediately tested his sugar, finding it to be low, and administered him a dose of glucose. Ronald, his stepson, realizing something was wrong, rushed to assist his mother. Ronald, having taken a required CPR class to graduate high school, immediately recognized his stepfather was not breathing, nor did he have a pulse. Ronald began performing chest compressions. Emergency medical technicians and firefighters from Volunteer Hose arrived on scene to continue performing chest compressions and provided artificial breathing for Curtis. After the administration of 4 rounds of cardiac medications by the paramedics, Curtis regained a pulse and a blood pressure. Additional medication was administered to stabilize Curtis for transport to the hospital. As a result of the combined efforts of Curtis's family, emergency medical technicians, firefighters and paramedics, and his wife and stepson, Curtis is here with us today as we celebrate his survival. Ronald, in the words of your mom, he is a hero. Mill Creek Fire Company, Assistant Chief John Stewart, EMTs Emily Blaskow, Matthew Intricasso, Amy Mossinger, Jeff Daniels, Trevor Thomas, Sarah Wenyon, Gabrielle Wargo, firefighter EMTs Corey Eckrich, Andrew Lloyd, Tyler Bailey, Robert Beswick, Robert Collins, James Dalton, Donnie Moore, Stephen Pickering, Bill Quinn, Paul Riccio, Robert Papp, Stephen Schenk, Sarah Luca, firefighters Michael Heacock, Jerry Horn, Bill Mossinger, Robert Mossinger, Philip Park, Michael Reinhardt, Stacy Roselle. Sarah Timms was a ride-along with the emergency care unit for the University of Delaware as well. Good things come to people who strive to do their best in life. Your hard work and determination brought you this achievement of 6 resuscitations. Job well done. Survivor Joel Brown, his wife Anita. Newcastle County EMS, Sergeant Matthew Watson, paramedics Travis Tomei and Michael McNeil. telecommunicator Michael St. Bill, Christiana Fire Company, Captain Joseph Shanahan, EMTs Katie Wallace, David Chillis, firefighter EMTs Kyle Petticone, James Haslam, Daniel Sutton, Michael Pressler, Adam Goldman, Thomas Morgan, Newcastle County Police, Officer Kevin Dool, and Officer Ted Wozniak. On the afternoon of April 24, 2019, Joel suffered a fainting episode. His wife Anita activated 911, connecting her to telecommunicator Michael St. Bill. Recognizing the patient was not breathing and did not have a pulse, immediately began providing Anita with instruction to perform chest compressions. After approximately 3 minutes, emergency medical technicians and firefighters from Christiana, as well as the officer from Newcastle County Police, arrived on scene. The first responders assumed performing chest compressions and provided artificial breathing to Joel. An automatic external defibrillator was applied with 3 shocks delivered prior to paramedics arriving on scene. As the paramedics arrived on scene, the basic life support provider was preparing to administer a 4th shock with hopes of reversing the legal heart rhythm and restore Joel's heartbeat. Joel's heart rhythm did change after that shock, however, it was not enough to sustain life. Chest compressions and artificial breathing were continued in conjunction with advanced life support care by paramedics. Approximately 16 minutes after Anita had initiated the 911 call for help, Joel's heart began to beat. Paramedics continued stabilizing treatment, and Joel was delivered to the hospital conversing with his rescuers. The individual commitment to this resuscitation group gave Joel his life back and Anita her husband to live on to the next chapter of their lives. May every chapter you create from this day be better than the last. Great job, everyone. Middletown Police, Corporal Michael Hillard and Officer David Cole. Tonight, we congratulate these 2 police officers for their involvement in 2 successful cardiac resuscitations. There is reward for those who work hard in the service to others. Congratulations for the outstanding performance. Minkwoodale Fire Company, firefighter EMT Tyler Bory, firefighter EMT William Tobridge. Achievements should always be celebrated. This is your time and your day. Congratulations on a job well done. Newcastle County Emergency Communications Division, PSO3 David McDonough, PSO2 Lance Bernardo, PSO2 Morgan Carlisle, PSO Isamar Solis de Jesus, Telecommunicator 1 Police Gemma Denisio, Telecommunicator 1 Police James Chadwick, Telecommunicator 1 Police Michael St. Bill, Telecommunicator Police Lisa A. Neal. Congratulations to each of you for this significant accomplishment of recognition for the survival of 10 sudden cardiac arrest victims. You should be very proud of everything you do every day. Keep up the good work. Survivor Thomas Hyde, Newcastle County EMS, Acting Sergeant Michael Petrocenia, Corporal Matthew Heiger, Paramedic Jamelia Johnson, Paramedic Christina Schorb, PSO Morgan Schoenberger, Firefighter EMTs from Tallyville Fire Company, Brandon Thomas, Tyler Bory, Adam Tanzella, and Tim Long. The morning of April 14, 2019 brought an unexpected event to the Hyde family. Thomas's wife found him on the floor unresponsive and not breathing normally. 911 was called and PSO Schoenberger quickly went into action, guiding Mrs. Hyde to begin chest compressions. Emergency medical technicians and firefighters from Tallyville arrived and assumed performing chest compressions and began artificial breathing for Thomas. 2 shocks by the AED were administered prior to the paramedics arriving on scene. Paramedics began to assist with patient care, initiating an intraosseous intravenous line and administering cardiac medications. Shortly after, it was noted Thomas had a heartbeat. Thomas was further stabilized with medications for his blood pressure and transported to Christiana Hospital. We wish you and your family a joyful future. Congratulations on a job well done to all of you. Newcastle County Police, Sergeant Peter Stewart, Master Corporals Jose Baerga, Joanne Smiley, John Kopansky, Scott Pluta, Corporal Jessica Nepris, Officer First Class Robert Glover, Brian Peterman, Ted Wozniak, Stephen Fawzy, Officer Kevin Dool, Christopher Johnson, Ryan Liskevich, Esteban Ruiz Ramirez, Jeffrey Walker, and Andrew Fitzgerald. All of you did a great job. This is a huge achievement of 7 cases where your actions made the difference in a survivor's life. Congratulations and thank you for what you do every day. Survivor James Ezel, Delaware State Police Trooper Medic, Sergeant Jason Baxley, Master Corporal Theodore Stippa. Tallyville Fire Company, EMTs, Maymuna Siddiqui, Jane Silvasi, Sophia Susky. Firefighter EMTs, Trent Whitaker, Julian Bradley, Thomas Rosenberger, Robbie Vanderback, and Christian Miller. A beautiful sunny day in northern Newcastle, Delaware. State Police Helicopter Trooper 4 was in flight responding to an emergency call when the Emergency Communications Center dispatched a cardiac arrest in the Tallyville Company District. Trooper 4 took it upon themselves to respond to the incident, landing in the parking lot of Brandywine Country Club. Arriving on scene, Trooper Medic Baxley and Trooper Medic Stippa find firefighters and EMTs from Tallyville performing chest compressions and artificial breathing for James. Shortly after, paramedics arrived to assist with patient care. James received 2 shocks, which restored his heartbeat. James was further stabilized with medications and transported to the hospital by Delaware State Police helicopter. Congratulations for an outstanding performance. Thank you. Survivor Jeffrey Wilson, Newcastle County EMS Corporal Brian Bradford, Paramedic Mary Kate Sellner, Aetna Hose Hook and Ladder EMT Juliana Ritter, EMT Krista Carlozzi. It was Saturday morning on September 29, 2019, when Jeff began experiencing a pressure sensation in his chest, radiating to his arm and neck. After several hours, Jeff made the decision, I better call 911. A basic life support unit from Aetna Hose Hook and Ladder arrived on scene. Paramedics followed behind shortly and began their assessment. The patient was transferred to the stretcher and upon performing an EKG, was noted to be suffering a heart attack. Moments after the paramedics notified the hospital, Jeffrey went unconscious, stopped breathing, and had no detectable pulse. CPR was immediately started. The cardiac monitor showed ventricular fibrillation, and after shocking Jeff a single time, his heart began to beat once again. Jeff was admitted to the hospital and later walked out on his own 2 feet. Well done. May today's success be the beginning of tomorrow's achievements. Congratulations. Odessa Fire Company, Deputy Chief Frank Fitzwater, Deputy Chief Gregory Scott, Captains Connor Gray, John Lloyd, Gene Mazantenta, Safety Officer Robert Foraker, EMTs Dale Bendler, Stephen Carradine, Mary Pizzadilli, Firefighters David Frail, Robin Schetzler, Ryan Wilson, Quentin Hipsher, and Michael McGovern. You're welcome, sir. Celebrate what you have accomplished and achieved. Keep up the great work, and congratulations on an excellent job. Thank you. Port Penn Fire Company, firefighter EMTs Tom Stratton, Alan Stuckert, Kevin Turner, Donald Winnington, Ryan Kennard, Vincent Miller, Min Nguyen, Gary Duran, Jason Messersmith. Your dedication and efforts have made a difference in the lives you saved. Congratulations on your achievements. Well done. St. Francis EMS, EMS Lieutenant Michael Capista, EMS Sergeant Richard Workmeister, EMTs Max Alderson, Casey Corcoran, Michael Jenkins, William Kiger, Nicole Landell, Amy Yonko, Anthony Ascione, and Ryan Campour. This is an achievement all of you have truly earned. We congratulate you on your success and wish you all the best for your future. Well done. Survivor Brenda Simpson. Newcastle County EMS, Corporal Elena Karakis. Paramedic First Class Michael Ferrero. Paramedics Michael McNeil. Paramedic Recruit Jamie Lee Jaquette. Paramedic Recruit Mariana Madrid. Christiana Fire Company. EMTs Patricia Schrack, Ashley Bard. EMT Daniel Hill. William Detterin. Firefighter EMTs Kyle Petticone. Firefighter Matthew Massini. Firefighter Bray Mariner. On the morning of Thursday, October 17, 2019, Brenda underwent surgery for a total knee replacement. Surgery was successful and Brenda was transferred to the recovery room. A series of events would follow with Brenda experiencing out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. Initial interventions were performed by the facility staff. EMTs, firefighters, and paramedics arrived on scene and assumed care from the staff, continuing critical treatment interventions. After approximately 3 minutes of critical care interventions of chest compressions, artificial breathing, and cardiac medications, Brenda had a pulse and a blood pressure. Once stabilized, she was transferred to Christiana Hospital Emergency Department. The co-actions of the pre-hospital providers brought Brenda and her family here today, where we celebrate her survival. Congratulations to all on a job well done. Tallyville Fire Company, Chief Glenn Woodard, Captain Schneider Billy Addett, EMT Maimuna Siddique, EMT James Silvasi, Sylvia Susky, firefighter EMTs Julian Bradley, Philip Fleur, Matthew Intracasco, John Kelly, Jeffrey LeCates, Thomas Rosenberger, Christopher Shelton, Robbie Vanderbrack, Trent Whitaker, firefighters Joseph Dudley, William Hall, Brendan Holbeck, Christian Miller, Cody Snyder, and Fire Police Joe Badalana, who is with us because he is a sudden cardiac arrest survivor. All of you worked hard. All of you deserve this achievement. Please accept our congratulations on this wonderful recognition of your merits for the resuscitation of 3 sudden cardiac arrest survivors. Thank you. Volunteer Hose Middletown, Assistant Chief Michael Schustridge, Captain Patrick Drecka, Assistant Supervisor Francis Marker, EMTs Michael Ehart, John Pace, Nicholas Purse, Larry Cooper, Larry Thompson, Joshua Ferguson, firefighter EMTs Robert Biggs, Micah Eddy, Stephen Galvin, Joshua Evans, firefighters Norman Wallace and Joseph Garone. Congratulations on your achievement in celebrating the 5 lives you saved. Hard work pays off, and you have proved it. Job well done. Thank you. Survivor Dean Phillips, his wife Jane, Newcastle County EMS, Corporal Dana Bowerson, Corporal Michael Petrocenia, PFC Michael O'Shaughnessy, Telecommunicator Police Gemma Denisio, Deputy Chief Frank Fitzwater, Deputy Chief Gregory Scott, Captain Connor Gray, EMT Stephen Carradine, Firefighter Ryan Wilson, Volunteer Hose, EMTs Nicholas Purse and Joshua Ferguson, Port Penn Fire Company, Firefighter EMTs Tom Stratton, Kevin Turner, Jason Messersmith, Donnie Warrington, Alan Stucker. Newcastle County Police, Master Corporal Joanne Smiley, Officer First Class Brian Peterman. Sudden cardiac arrest afflicts people from all walks of life, at work, at school, resting at home, or even sleeping. On the morning of February 22, 2019, Jane discovered her husband not breathing and without a pulse. Jane called 911 and telecommunicator Denisio answered. Gemma was able to direct Jane to place Bobby on the floor and begin chest compressions. Shortly after, officers from the Newcastle County Police arrived and assumed performing chest compressions. More help arrived in the form of firefighters, EMTs from Odessa, Port Penn. The AED was placed, providing 2 shocks in hopes of reversing the lethal cardiac rhythm. Paramedics arrived on scene and would ultimately shock the patient an additional 6 times, start an IV, give meds, and after 31 minutes of team resuscitation efforts, pulses would be restored. Dean would receive further stabilization treatment to include the infusion of cold saline. He was lucky enough to have Jane on scene performing life-saving chest compressions in the vital minutes after his arrest. The combinations of interventions by Jane, Gemma, the police, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics have given him a second chance at life. Congratulations, everyone, on a job well done. Wilmington Fire Department, Lieutenant John Cawthray, Lieutenant Joseph Leonetti, Firefighter Marcus Allen, Cameron Dorsey, Thomas Eisenbray, Joshua Giles, Brandon Howe, Vincent Denisio, James Johnson, Robert Maxwell, retired firefighter Stephen Merced. It may be tough, but you never run away from taking the challenges. Today, your achievement is the result of your hard work and fearless spirit. Congratulations on a job well done, and thank you for what you do. Wilmington Manor Fire Company Vice President, Firefighter EMTs, Stevie Ray, Michael Ehart, Michael Emmel, Ralph Tucker, Simon Velez, Hunter White. Your hard work and dedication is reflected by the amazing success of your efforts. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Civilian Gabriella Poe, her boyfriend Patrick Cavanaugh, Newcastle County EMS, Senior Sergeant Bratton Heck, Senior Corporals Kenneth Slidey, William Wagner, Etna Hose Hook and Ladder, Supervisor Firefighter EMT Ryan Contino, EMTs Marty Krasavage, Janie Grossman, John Witzke, Timothy Long, firefighters David Carey and Derek Brode. On the morning of August 28th, Gabriella suffered a seizure. 911 was activated. Thanks to her boyfriend Patrick, who began CPR immediately, and the prompt arrival of the paramedics, firefighters, and EMTs, who administered 2 shocks, medications, and CPR, 16 minutes after the 911 call, Gabriella had a pulse and a blood pressure. Advanced life support medications helped stabilize Gabriella for transport to the hospital. Gabriella was admitted to the hospital following her sudden cardiac arrest event. The best part, she woke up to be surrounded by her friends. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It is the spark that lights a fire in one's soul. Tonight, Gabriella would like to express her gratitude to all involved to saving her life and is excited to meet all of you. Congratulations on a job well done. Best wishes to you, Gabriella, for your bright future. Christiana Care Hospital LifeNet Critical Care Paramedic Kara Bunzelak, and EMT David Gerlano.
That's nice. That makes it all worthwhile. That's great. I hope she does be president someday over there.
Immediate CPR can be the difference between life and death. Thanks to your quick interactions of beginning CPR, the gift of life was given back. Congratulations on your outstanding performance. Civilian honorees, Dr. Lee Macetta, Dr. Timothy Can, Surgical Technician Kim Ganderton, RN William Slater, Surgical Technician Michael Rich, Surgical Technician Christopher Moore, RN Faith Cooper, RN Angela Alexander, RN Kim Sayers, CRN Dana Melick, and RN Elizabeth Pody. The moment when sudden cardiac arrest strikes, a split-second decision to get down on one's hands and knees to perform CPR may be just the ticket to save a victim's life. Learning CPR, simple. The only tool one needs, yourself. Lifesavers are found everywhere, from the medical facility to the gym to a restaurant. Tonight, we recognize a group of citizens from a diverse background, of fitness trainers to medical professionals, who became heart-saver heroes by performing bystander CPR until the EMTs, firefighters, and paramedics arrived on scene. We are happy to honor these individuals who assisted in their part of the chain of survival. Their quick actions on June 17th and October 3rd of 2019 saved 2 lives. Congratulations, job well done. Before we conclude tonight's ceremony, I would ask the following members of my Sudden Cardiac Arrest Committee team to please stand and be recognized. Lieutenant Kelly Starr Leach, Senior Corporal Stacy LeCompte, Corporal Dana Bowerson, Corporal Leah Reed, Corporal Yvonne Russell, PFC Katrina Jansen, and Paramedic Brittany Paoli. Thank you all for making this night successful. All those who have been honored tonight, along with our survivors, we ask that you please remain in the auditorium for a group picture after we conclude here. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and please join us for refreshments in the front vestibule. Have a good night.